You are exhausted. But it is not just physical. It is not the kind of tired that a full night's sleep can fix. It is deeper than that. You wake up tired. You go to sleep tired. And somewhere in between, you pretend not to be. You go to work. You make small talk. You scroll through your phone in the empty hours. You do what needs to be done. You smile when necessary. You nod when expected. But none of it feels real. It feels like you are walking through someone else's life. Like you have been cast in a role you never agreed to audition for. This tiredness is not about sleep. It is about disconnection. It is the weariness of living out of alignment with who you truly are. Of wearing a mask for so long that you forgot what your own face looks like. Of showing up as someone you think the world wants to see, instead of who you actually are. You say you are fine. You say you are just tired. But deep down you know it is more than that. You are not tired because you did too much. You are tired because you did too little of what truly mattered to you. Too little joy, too little rest, too little time in nature, too little honesty, too little connection, too little of your own truth. You have been living in survival mode, just trying to get through the day. But getting through the day is not the same as living. Checking tasks off a to-do list is not the same as being alive. Being busy is not the same as being fulfilled. And somewhere, you feel it. A quiet ache. A whisper that something is off. That maybe this life as it is not meant to be your final version. That maybe, just maybe, this exhaustion is a signal. Not a flaw, not a weakness, but a message. Your soul is trying to speak. And it does not use words. It uses feelings. It uses discomfort. It uses the heaviness you carry without knowing why. It uses your restlessness, your frustration, your sadness that comes out of nowhere. It is trying to tell you, you are not where you are meant to be. You are not meant to suppress your light just to make others comfortable. You are not meant to live in fear of disappointing people. You are not meant to stay small to be accepted. That is why you are tired. That is why you feel numb. Because you are disconnected from your truth. Because you stopped listening to the quiet voice inside. And in its place, you started listening to everything else. Social media, noise, advertisements, expectations, comparisons. You started measuring your worth in numbers. How much you earn, how much you weigh, how much attention you get, how productive you were this week. But none of that is you. You are not your output. You are not your followers. You are not your success metrics. You are not how others see you. You are what remains when all of that is stripped away. And maybe, in this tiredness, your real self is asking to be seen again. The part of you that once felt joy without a reason. The part of you that used to dream before you were told to be realistic. The part of you that was soft before you had to become hard just to survive. The part of you that still hopes, even now, even in this moment. So stop for a moment, not to sleep, but to listen. Not to the noise around you, but to the quiet inside you. You are not lazy. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are just overdue for a reunion with yourself. Let this tiredness be the invitation. Not to push harder, not to do more, but to return, to come home to yourself. You think something is wrong with you, that you are weak, that you are lazy, that you are falling behind. You look at everyone else, their curated lives, their smiles, their celebrations, their progress. And you wonder how they are doing it, how they wake up early and go to the gym, how they build businesses, post content, travel, fall in love. how they seem to have the motivation, the direction, the fire, while you feel like you are drifting, like you are surviving, like you are stuck. But here is what no one tells you. You are not behind. You are healing. You are unlearning. You are waking up from a life that was never truly yours. And that takes time. This feeling, this in-between, this fatigue, this fog, it is not failure, it is transition. You are standing between the life you built for survival and the life you crave for fulfillment. And the bridge between the two is uncomfortable. It is full of silence, full of doubt, full of lonely nights and mornings that feel like echoes. It is the season where you outgrow your old self before your new self is ready to arrive. You try to go back, to fit in the roles you used to play, the masks you used to wear. But they feel tight now. They itch, they hurt. And still you hesitate to let them go, because what comes next is unknown. And unknown feels dangerous. But what if it is not? What if this tiredness is not an end, but a beginning? What if it is not proof that you are broken, but evidence that you are finally listening? You have spent so many years in survival mode, hyper-aware, overthinking, people-pleasing, suppressing your emotions just to keep peace, taking on too much because saying no felt selfish, hiding your truth because being accepted felt safer than being real. And now, finally, your body, your heart, your soul are done. Not weak, done. Done pretending, done pleasing, done performing, done carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. You crave something real, something that does not drain you, something that does not require you to shrink. You want peace, not just the absence of chaos, but the presence of wholeness. You want joy that is not performative, success that feels aligned, love that does not require you to abandon yourself to receive it. But to get there, you have to rest, not just your body, but your soul. You have to stop running from yourself. You have to stop numbing the quiet with noise. You have to stop filling your calendar just to avoid your heart. There is a difference between rest and distraction, between numbing and nurturing, between avoiding and healing. True rest is radical. True rest is honest. True rest is allowing yourself to feel the grief, the anger, the regret, not to wallow in it, but to move through it. This is the sacred pause, where the old you dissolves and the new you has not yet taken form. It is where the work happens, the real work, not the hustle, not the grind, not the chasing, but the becoming. Becoming someone who no longer betrays themselves just to belong. Becoming someone who trusts their own timing. Becoming someone who defines success in their own language. Becoming someone who no longer needs to be liked to feel worthy. That is why you are tired, because your old self is cracking. And in the cracks, light is breaking through. So stop trying to fix yourself. You are not a project. You are a person. Stop asking, what is wrong with me? Start asking, what have I been through? And what do I need now? Because healing is not linear. It is not pretty. It is not something you can schedule into your planner. It is messy. It is slow. It is frustrating. And it is worth it. Every breakdown is a message. Every tear is release. Every moment of stillness is an act of rebellion in a world that profits from your exhaustion. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to not have a 5-year plan. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to stop chasing what does not nourish you. And above all, you are allowed to come home to yourself. Even if you do not know what that looks like yet. Even if you are scared. Even if your voice shakes. Come home anyway. Let the exhaustion be your compass. Not something to shame, but something to honor. Let it guide you to the truth beneath the noise. You are not lazy. You are not lost. You are waking up. And that is one of the hardest things a person can do. You are becoming. And becoming always begins with undoing. You have always been taught to chase. Chase grades, chase approval, chase money, chase love. Chase a version of yourself that looks good enough to be accepted. And you are tired because the chase never ends. Every milestone brings a moment of satisfaction, but it fades. And then you are back at it again, striving, achieving, proving. The world tells you, you are only valuable when you produce. You are only worthy when you perform. You are only lovable when you achieve. But that is a lie. You do not have to earn your worth. You do not have to hustle for your identity. You do not have to carry the world just to feel like you belong in it. Real growth does not come from chasing. It comes from aligning. It comes from asking, what do I actually want? What brings me peace? What makes me feel alive, not just accomplished? Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is to stop running toward what you were told to want and start walking, slowly, honestly, toward what you truly need. That requires courage, because it means disappointing people. It means letting go of identities that brought you praise. It means saying no without guilt. It means choosing yourself when no one else claps for it. But this is how your life begins to change. Not when you get louder, but when you get clearer. Not when you win more, but when you need less. You see, you are not here to fit in. You are here to wake up from the story that said your value depends on your usefulness, to wake up from the fear that said resting makes you lazy, to wake up from the pain that told you love must be earned. You are not behind. You are just waking up. And waking up is messy, because suddenly you notice everything. The way you people please to keep the peace, the way you smile when you are actually hurting, the way you shrink your needs to stay likable, the way you trade authenticity for acceptance. You see it all, and it hurts. But that is the beginning of freedom. Awareness is painful because it shows you how much of your life has been spent surviving, not living. But awareness is also power, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that is how change begins. Not in giant leaps, but in small moments of honesty. When you say, I do not want to live like this anymore. When you whisper, there must be more. When you ask, what if I tried something different? Healing is not about becoming a perfect version of yourself. It is about becoming yourself, period. Not the polished mask, not the edited version, not the one they clapped for when you betrayed your soul, but you, raw, real, awake, the kind of you who no longer says yes to things that feel like no, the kind of you who no longer keeps quiet just to be polite, the kind of you who walks away from what drains, even if it looks good on paper, the kind of you who honors your intuition, even when it makes no sense to others, because you finally realize peace is more important than praise. Alignment is more important than applause. Freedom is more important than fitting in. The journey will still be hard. There will be days you question everything, moments where the old comfort calls you back, times when you feel foolish for walking this path alone. But stay with it. Stay with your becoming. Stay with your truth. Because one day, not too far from now, you will wake up and realize you are no longer surviving. You are living. You are no longer performing. You are being. You are no longer searching outside of yourself. You are coming home. And home is not a place. It is a way of being. It is the space where your soul no longer has to hide. As poet Naira Wahid once said, and I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. Let that be your starting point. Let that be your revolution. You do not need to change everything today. You just need to come back to yourself, gently, consistently, courageously, one breath at a time, one truth at a time, one choice at a time. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a life that feels like yours, a life you do not need to escape from, a life built not on fear, but on love, not on performance, but on presence, not on noise, but on truth. You are not behind, you are becoming, and that is more than enough.